This is a really special exercise, especially while doing the Core 4 Heal All Detox protocol. At any time of life, really, rebounding is good for you. Even if it's just once a week. I mean, daily is where you're gonna see the biggest transformation. But I'll admit it, I don't get to do it daily either. Sometimes I'll have like consultations that start at 6. You know, I have people all around the world, so I don't get to always have my morning routine. I try to give myself Saturdays though, and Sundays for the full, basically I get the weekends off if I can, which isn't all the time, you know, because sometimes people are only free on Saturdays and Sundays, but Saturdays I try to make sure I'm on time for the market. So I wake up at 5 to meditate. I usually actually wake up between 3:30, 4, and then what I do is I put on prayers and meditations, because that's the most important part of the day before you get into the conscious, sort of the alpha and beta states, you know, where you're coming out of delta and theta, where you can program your mind, because that's where you were programmed as a child. When you're young, you're in this constant state of theta absorption, and it's developing all of your neurons and your experiences, and that's why we spend our whole adulthood, if we're into that sort of thing, which is rare, you know, excavating all the trauma, for lack of a better word, but just buried experiences that were not contextualized properly, because as a child, you know, you had no context. You couldn't say, oh, my mom has issues and my dad has issues and grandma had issues. You don't have any of that. So you're kind of reparenting yourself in a way, and it's never too late. You know? Thank God that I have that philosophy, because otherwise I'd be like, I'm just gonna give up. I'm wrecked. It's no use. You know, I'll never have a functioning relationship. You know. Oh Lordy, because of the abandonment stuff and all the abuse and the fear of love, and you know, the lack of awareness around the cultivation of unconditional love, because our parents are not enlightened sages, which could be present, conscious, and very aware of their emanations and the effect that it has on the nervous system of the child, plus the laws of nature, which are associated with like the types of thoughts and environment that the mother is, you know, incubating the child for 9 months. And then prior to that, the seed stock of the father, what are his habits, his thought forms, you know, and then what is the genetic, the epigenetic expression of, you know, 7 generations before that, but really ad infinitum, all the way back to the first amoeba, really. So this external outward search for food, basically, but then that transfers over into a mate, and then stuff to house the mate and to house the children. Then there's, now in the modern world, it's a cell phone and insurance and cars, and you know, and you need a TV to come home and some beer to drown out your sorrows. You know, so really we are a, you know, continuum. And so, but one thing that's cool that we have, especially here on the Life Regenerator channel, because we're regenerating our lives, you know, and we are the cycle breakers once and for all, you know, and we can create new pathways of thought and new expression. Generally, we would like to grow and evolve to our highest potential as possible before we procreate. But since a lot of our habits and patterns are sort of dysfunctional and we attract dysfunctional stuff, then the the mating takes place, and then you may have not found your equal match or whatever. Many children born out of dysfunction or just pure, magnetic procreation energy, if you will, that's not managed properly through a higher consciousness of training for the children, young adults, etc., that would allow them to have more of an awareness of stability and a conscious intent to raise children in a proper way, to create, super babies that are well-functioning adults that have skills that allow them to, navigate through life more peacefully, more lovingly, with a higher level of awareness and consciousness and responsibility, instead of a lot of projection, blaming, and an inability to be with our own energy. That's one of the main themes of the consults lately, is just our collective inability to sit and be with the unwinding of pain. And that's what Dan McDonald's been going through. And I can see why people avoid it. But there comes a time when you're like, if I don't break through or cultivate love for myself and process these buried traumas, for lack of a better word, because there are traumas that are, they're intense traumas, and I've had plenty of those. Whatever. I don't even want to say, because I don't want to respect everyone's, because, we've all been like, crazy stuff has happened in our childhood, And then there's the more, I guess you could say macro traumas, which are the big ones, and then there's the micro traumas, which are like, just when your needs weren't being met. I mean, I have the king crown. I can look at my mom and my dad, which I can forgive now consciously. And so it's a matter of really what happened, and everyone does it differently, but this one was like, it's all my fault. I am not lovable, and so here I am, 49 years young, cultivating the repercussions of that deep, unconscious decision that was made. And then there's this performance-based like, once I perform and I'm perfect, then I'll be good enough. So I'm the first to admit people can have projected a lot onto me and said things, and like, well, what am I going to do though? Stop living, stop making juice videos, stop sharing my truth, stop being authentic, stop, until I'm perfect? No, I had to keep going. I had to keep making videos, even though I knew I had a lot of stuff. And that's where the big cojones come in, because everyone will complain underneath your videos and they have no avatar, so you don't know who they are. Half of them are bots these days. The other half are just drunk people at 3 a.m. projecting their own unresolved issues. So, what I've done for 14 plus years on the internet, almost 15 years now, bro. Like, it's, it takes a pretty good, to keep getting up here. I'll admit, some of it's the money, which is good, because then you're like, I gotta eat and pay rent, and child support in the beginning, And so that's part of the motivation, but there's also the thing that's like, hey, these people like me, and it feels good, And that was the main thing in the beginning. Then it became about the money, because I had a huge child support debt and some kids I wanted to do a better job with. And I did okay. I did the best I could. So, and then there's an art. Sometimes I feel my best after a nice DTM rant, channeling. Because there is a channel here. It's channeling now. Who can bounce on the rebounder and do this? And most people do it. It's kind of boring. I think this is kind of interesting, because these are deep thoughts coming from the masters who have trained me, And then I've been studying relationships and trauma and meditation and celibacy and spirituality and evolution and the laws of nature, and also a part of nature, that's a big part of my life, being in nature. And now I'm really trying to unwind a lot of tension, man, in my inner being. So I can just, my prayer this morning was just, please God, you know, I mean, through your grace, like that, I need God's grace, okay, period. I mean, that's what it is, bro. Like, I need a miracle for my heart, you know, which has, you know, there's been a lot of good, I've had a lot of changes, you know, and I'm hoping for this to get to a point where it unconditionally loves me, you know, that I unconditionally love myself, you know. And then I want to teach that because I do the consults every day, and I see that people are just, they're it's all stuck in there. And so we're all arguing about food, which at a certain point, like, hey man, nobody loves the food trip more than me. And I'm telling you, man, living foods feels the absolute best in my body, 100%. But food, one thing that's kind of cool, and it sucks, is it's just losing its luster. I mean, this guy was a food addict. Like, it was his main drug, and now it's just, a lot of times I'll be sitting there and just thinking, this isn't even really that good. I'm not even that hungry. And I'd rather have the joy of the divine flow, which is the real food, is the bliss body consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need the practical application of some snacks to fuel the human organism. But there's about 100 other reasons that we eat other than real need, mechanical need of nourishment. And I think you know what I'm talking about, and I'm nobody's judge, because the food is the great final drug, which is, again, losing its luster. Any kind of distraction is just, I'm so aware of what I'm doing, it doesn't sit right with my spirit, but it doesn't mean that these habits haven't had their own trajectory, you know. And so they become concretized in the neurons, in the brain, in this repetitive pattern of like, okay, it's evening time, and I've been busy all day with my life and my to-do list, but now that it's time to relax and be with myself, I don't want to feel the loneliness. I don't want to feel, because a lot of us are like that. Like, I live alone, I hang out alone. Now, I'm not saying that I want to be around a whole bunch of people all the time, but, and maybe it's actually a positive thing. Like, sometimes Sadhguru will be like, the geniuses spend their time alone, you know, or the more spiritual ones or whatever. Not saying I'm any one of those things, but, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have like a balance, a little bit more of a balance. So I'm looking at all that. I don't really know what the conclusion is there yet, but the food, the distractions, as the spiritual energy grows and the awareness grows and the desire to experience more of the bliss body or the effulgence of the joy and the unconditional love, you know, but then you have to kind of go through those periods of like, okay, here I am, I'm bored and I'm lonely, and it's the evening time and time to wind down, and I've already drank enough juice today that I don't really need to eat, but you do it anyways, you know. And eventually I think it's just that's gonna be diminished. Well, we're gonna be doing the juice cleanse, so that's great, perfect timing for me, because I'm like, I was eating a big salad last night and I was like, this isn't even that good, you know. But thank God it's like the best food in the world, like freshly picked greens right out of the ground that day, so that's so fresh. So it's a high vibration, you know. But unless you're really truly in need of nourishment, and the great ones that lived in the forest, they really ate minimally, you know, so they could stay, and that makes space for more of the spirit. So there's eating by the flesh, which is more the ego body, which is like, eat whenever you can all the time, because we're gonna starve to death after millions of years of like lean times and whatnot. And now that we have a society that's like, hey, everything on the shelves all the time, plus you add in all the flavor enhancers and whatnot, you know, it's a real recipe for disaster, because you're talking about years and years of this programming of like, seafood, eat it, you know. If there's food, you eat, because that's the program. And only in the last 2,000 years of agriculture is like, hey, there's a constant supply of food. So that's why we're seeing obesity, and plus all the crappy ingredients and the manufactured processed foods. It's rough. And then you've got all the emotional stuff as well. So it really takes a lot of mastery to, I call it eat like a ballerina, because I met this ballerina once and she was really beautiful. And you know, they have to stay thin. So she had this tiny little bowl. You know, I was at some kind of raw food thing or something. And she had this little bowl. And she said, that's all I let myself eat. And I was like, that was, I don't know how many years ago that was. I think it was in New York. That was way back in the beginning of before I even went on YouTube, I think. And there is a lot of wisdom to that. Hey, don't get me wrong. There is a time to dog down and really grub out. You have to kind of be able to do both. You have to really be able to eat like the French, as I say, enjoy and love and really carve up. You want to be able to do that, but you also want to be able to do things like fasting or moderate when you need to, you know. And ultimately, the longevity will come from the moderation, or what I call living by the spirit, because your physical organism, and trust me, I've done so much fasting and juicing and stuff, that you don't really need that much, man. I did a 10-day wilderness fast that was hiking all over the goddamn mountains, but then out there, it was pure fresh air, pure sunlight, no people, no technology. And so I was just living off the prana of the mountain, you know, and drinking this water, which, like, the water even gave me energy, you know. It was a pretty cool experience, and I'm like, I can't stop thinking about, you know, moving to the wilderness. So I have like two potentials here, you know, get married and, you know, go that route, or go the route of the, you know, the sage in the wilderness, and just not escape. There's nothing wrong with this world. I love it, you know, but it's more like an escape into the silence, into the stillness, away from the technology, away from the stresses and distractions of the modern world. But now, if you go to the wilderness, you take that with you anyway. So I'm just saying, you know, we're really trying to get it here and now, no matter where we are in our life. We're carrying that solitude, that silence, that awareness, that consciousness of the divine with us, no matter what. In the middle of a war zone, your wife is yelling at you, your boss is pissed off, your whole life is crumbling down, and you're still aware this too, you know, will pass. And then you're aware of your eternal, infinite nature, which is like just a more of a witness to all of the dualistic, pleasant, unpleasant, hungry, stuffed, you know, like sober, drunk, you know, or inebriated on something else, sugar inebriation, alcohol, weed, cigarette inebriation, porn inebriation, gambling, go to a casino, people are like, ching, ching. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's what their thing is. I'm trying to get rid of all of that crap. Scrolling feels gross. Like, I'm wasting my life away looking at all this meaningless stuff, because that's what the internet has become. Remember when we could find cool stuff and you could educate? You can still find it, but you got to dig. They're mostly like twerking and, you know, Donald Trump and all this stuff, you know, that's like meaningless, mindless. And so we really got to dig to find like what's really going on, because they're more of a sickness and disease creation intention. It just seems to me the matrix of the phone. But then there's videos like this where the dude is like, hey, go out and be barefoot. And I started with my morning routine, you know, but like make good babies and be healthy and screw all this stuff, because paradise is still here. Not just here because I'm in Hawaii, but wherever I go, I find cool, good stuff. And I find a patch of grass like this, the earth. And I find some sun and a little crack in a corner and a crevice, and I take my clothes off and put my privy parts into the sunlight, you know? So anywhere you are is the greatest opportunity, you know? My first choice is the wife, you know? A beautiful, precious woman to serve, you know, with all my heart. Because I never learned how to be a man until recently. I never even knew what a man's job was in a relationship. So I never had any training. And now that I understand that, I want to be the rock. I want to be the unshakable, unbreakable, you know, tree stump of a man for the right woman, you know? So anyhow, I know I'm like 49. So, but you see those little memes, it's never too late, you know, for whatever. I'm 72 and just climbed a mountain. I'm 56 and just got married to the love of my life. I mean, so it's like, okay, cool. It's like, I mean, I feel pretty spry, to be honest. I got up, I actually slept in, because today I slept until 5. I usually get up at like 3:30, 4, and start praying. And then, but I got up at 5, had a really decent meditation. I'm getting into the stillness more and more, you know. It means more and more to me. The stillness, not only of the body, which is where it starts, but stillness of the mind, you know. And then my job is like the opposite of that. It's like, then you got to stick a hose up your butt and get that colon out of there, you know. It's all this, but I'm kind of good at it. And I can sit here and rap about cool things in life. So I just started with this video with my morning routine, which is, I'm in the middle of it right now with the rebounding. But I had a really decent meditation at 5. And then what I do is I release a video from the video queue, which I have like about 5 or 6 more on YouTube, and I'm just releasing one of those a day. And I did a flurry of them the other day. And still getting about 1,000 views per video. Oh my God, he's famous. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Might even reach that today or tomorrow. Today I'm gonna do a juice class for the Elite Video Club. So I'm gonna go to the market, load up on a bunch of stuff, come back here and do like a 2 or 3 hour long juice class where I show, hey, I'm gonna get my juices ready for the next 3 days, you know? And then I'm gonna show everyone all the tips and tricks. So if you haven't signed up for the 7-day juice cleanse on the Elite Video Club and you want to do that, now's the time, because I'm going to be holding some serious space. We're going to be talking about some real stuff, like what's really going on, how we really heal, because I can do that on Vimeo and I can do that on the Zoom without getting blocked. But over here on the YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, they do not like health. They don't like real, true health information. That actually, where you're talking about somebody who can help you to heal yourself of all this stuff. You can't even say the words anymore of the things, because you don't even hear the words anymore. You just go in and get the chemo, because that's what the world does, but no one ever can tell you, you know, that's bad. It's Agent Orange, you know, injected into your vein. It's not a good idea, but you can't say anything anymore about anything like that. So it's definitely the dark, you know, forces are definitely alive and well, but so are we able to mobilize the forces of light against the forces of darkness, you know. So I had a really good meditation, and I was just praying to God, you know, to make my heart an unconditional lover towards myself particularly, which is where I see the problem is, because if you unconditionally love yourself, then you're about 100% more likely to be able to love others, you know. So you would think it would be easy too. And as soon as you set that intention, which I did like aeons ago, and I'm still going through that process because I was so unconscious of the ways that I was, you know, not seeing myself as worthy. I mean, the essence of that has been there, but now it's like, there's a part of you, bro, that's a sabotaging thing that says you're not worthy of love, you know? So then when the women came that were amazing, I'd be freaking out, man. My insides were like, this is not, you can't, go. You're not worthy. You're gonna get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And that's okay. It's okay, man. Like, it's all a great journey into love. Love, and then, I mean, I'm gonna get this. If I gotta go to the wilderness and just sit there until I'm dead, whatever happens, you know, I'm surrendered to it. But I see, like, love first, unconditional love, just anchored in for yourself and the rest of the world. It doesn't mean you want to hang around Bill Gates and eat his food, but you don't want to spend your days hating him or anyone else for that matter, because they're just lost and they are trapped in darkness, you know. So on one strange level, you know, this could open up a can of worms, but on one strange level, you can understand that they are lost and they are darkness and their eyes are covered with scales, and you get to be the light. You get to see the light of love and truth and freedom and ecstasy and bliss and joy and truth. And ultimately, I guess, at this point, it's just like, okay, let's anchor in this unconditional love, because I know it's coming. I can feel it. Like, I'm just praying for the grace of God. And when you do that, you know, it'll meet you, you know. Like God, his love, his it. It's an it, really. A man. God is a man. It's an it. It's both. It's the masculine and the feminine, perfect, you know, balance. But so it's like, it's masculine and feminine. I won't even go into that, but it's the law of supply and demand. Like, if your heart opens up and you're like, I need a miracle, I need something beyond this small to help me, and you know the angels are there, and see the lung, it loosens up all the crap in your lungs and in your lymphatic system, you know. So the bouncing is really good. But yeah, you pray, because you know that the small you, the unconscious you that buried all that stuff away, it's not just an overnight thing like, oh, I'm gonna love myself, okay, perfect, all right, I love myself. And then it's like a mental mantra you do in your head, but do you really feel and act in a way that is unconditionally loving towards yourself? And right now, it's like, okay, there's love and fear, you know, and the fear just got in there. I mean, it comes along with being human, but it says perfect love casts out all fear. And I'm like, bro, give me the perfect love, man. Like, I just want that. And not just for my own self. Like, once I get unconditional love, then I'll take over YouTube and I'll make millions of dollars and I'll become a guru and have like 8 wives, you know. Only want one, man. Can you dig it? I don't want any of that crap. I see what these gurus do, and I don't want any of that, man. Never have, never will. Praise the Lord, because I only want the real, you know, and the joy and the love and the peace. That is not the pleasures of the world. Anyone can say all the right words and wear the right clothes and have the right marketing, but the true contrite heart, the one that loves God for just that sake alone, you know, and for no other reason, because to love God is the greatest joy. But you don't have to use that word either. You can just say, I just love life, you know, and it would be the same thing to me. And I'd be like, cool, I love life too, man. You know, you could say, I love Jehovah, and I'd be like, right on. And I have a really cool guy, Cleon. I don't know if I should have said his name, but Cleon, he's on the Elite Video Club, and he's a Muslim. He's been there since the very beginning. He's part of the Elite Video Club family, and I just love him, because we talk and we do consults, and he's working hard on his health all the time, and he does well sometimes and not so well, just like the rest of us. We flux and flow, but he's a Muslim. I say, Allah be praised, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, man. It's the same thing to me, bro. I don't get lost in the semantics. I see so many people They're so stuck on the right words that they let the essence just elude them. So they're so stuck in their head about religion that they'll never experience the joy, the love, the peace, and the bliss of the divine, you know? So I'm willing to let go of every concept in order to allow the divine flow, you know what I'm saying? And I let everybody else win. You're right, you're more religious than me, you know? Your ways of thinking are vastly superior, and you are the great master, you know? And I am a wandering fool. And that's fine, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll finish this up. I don't know where we at. We're at, holy crap, 31. This is gonna go like 20 minutes. But you can bounce too with me and get a really good workout, because 20 minutes is base, 30 minutes is, you know, advanced, and then 1 hour a day is like the ultimate weight loss master, you know? And you can do it in 2, but if it's when you do like 1 hour straight, that's when you really start changing up your business. Can you dig it? I do gotta go to the market pretty soon, but I just wanted to finish up. So I don't know, maybe we'll do 40 minutes or something now, because I'm just rapping. I love to hear myself talk. It's like my job. And then the longer I talk, the more Google AdSense I collect. And hopefully I say something that you need to hear today, so that you can be uplifted and transformed by the brilliance of the Dan McDonald channeling of the divine, because he's just like a vessel. I didn't really pray today or set an intention. I was like, I'm gonna make a rebounding video soon. Here I am. So I got up and had a really decent meditation. I was like, please God, give me unconditional love towards myself, because I know that's what I need for my dreams to come true. For me to manifest the perfect woman, you know? It's like loving myself enough to be like, bro, you are like, because my friends are like, bro, Tavis is always like, Dan, you're like the best guy on earth, dude. You know? And he's been saying that to me for years, because he knows me better than anybody. He's like, Dan, any woman would be the luckiest person, because he knows that how pure I try to be, even though I had like a lot of childhood trauma and stuff and crazy beliefs and stuff. And then my friend Summer, she's just like, Dan, you know, she does this body work, energy work on people. She always puts my ass to sleep every time. I wake up, wow, that was, she's like, you know, she just leaves me alone. She doesn't, then I wake up and I'm like, I think, oh, that was about 15 or 20 minutes. Is she done? Where is she? I look at the clock. It's like 3 hours later since when we started, you know, I'm asleep. And she's been done for like 20 minutes or half an hour, and she's in the other room or whatever. And she just puts me to sleep. But she does this energy work, and she's like, she looked at me the other day and she said, I know you're gonna resist this, but I wanna tell you something. You are the purest soul I've ever worked on. And what I'm doing when I say that, I'm doing that for myself, to say, Dan, like, these are the people that you love and that trust the most, you know? And Tavis is always like, dude, I'm not just saying this, man. I mean, you really are an amazing person, you know? And same thing with Summer. It's just like, you are the purest soul. And I'm just like trying to say that on some of these videos. It like sinks in, because it kind of does work, you know? That I just kind of keep, hey, these are my best friends, the people that I love and respect the most, trying to tell me that I am lovable, that I am a great person, you know? Because I never had that, you know? When I was a little kid, I just was desperate for love. But then, you know, I was just this really sensitive little kid, and I'm just like reparenting myself right now, you know, basically. And they're reparenting me, you know. Then I say, hey, Dan, remember what Summer said? Remember what Tavis said? It's okay if you believe that. Like, you're not better than anyone, but you are lovable and you are a good person, you know? Because I would never hurt anyone. I've never ever tried to hurt anyone in my life, you know? And I've been hurt, but those people are hurting, you know? So I was never one of the ones that was like tried to take it out on my parents or blame them or blame society. I was always like, I've been working on myself. That's what life regeneration is. Life regeneration isn't about looking outside yourself. You can't regenerate yourself. No amount of money can help, I guess, because then you could eat like a bottle of enzymes every day and get the best body work, you know. But there's that guy, he spends like $2 million a year. And I'm like, bro, you wanna know the truth? It's 2.5 cents a day. It's called a water distiller. And you stop and the divine fixes you on the physical level. Every cell gets refined by the light through that water fasting prana process of divine intelligence that knows exactly what it's doing. And then the emotional body is cleansed. It's amazing how much fasting I've done. You'd think I'd be like, my heart would be as big as Jupiter, you know? But you can avoid the pain even when you're water fasting until you get more and more mature with it. Then it comes up faster and more intensely. And you're getting closer. You're about to break through fully all the way, you know. And it totally regenerates the brain. And it totally cleans the spiritual karma as well, so that the spiritual body is also purified. But the thing about fasting is you have to do it for the right reasons. And this is where I went wrong for 23 years. I was trying to fast myself into being lovable, into being good enough. And once I'm perfect, then I'll be lovable. And so fasting, I'll admit, as much as I've seen the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual benefits, the underlying intention that I had wasn't loving. Aha. So there you go. For those of you that stood this whole time, that is the golden nugget, at least in this experience that I figured out on this last 4-day water fast. I was like, bro, I saw, like, you're not doing this for the purest of intentions. You think, I'm gonna fast, then I'll be good enough, then I'll be lovable, you know? So I gotta change that. Then I can get on a proper regime of fasting for the renewal of life in the most proper context, for just to really grow closer to God, really. Instead of trying to fix myself and then I'll be pretty and then they'll like me on YouTube and my career will blossom because I'll look young forever and all that crap. That was all off. But thank God, it's, you know, eventually you get wisdom. And that's the beautiful thing, what happened when I saw that. Because now I'm going to be able to approach it from another point of view, another context. And it will always be henceforth simply to grow closer to God, which is what I learned in the 10-day wilderness fast. And I saw the miracle. Right now I'm kind of trapped in the matrix, you know, and I'm just trying to like honor the matrix and honor you and my career and money and plans and the physical organism. But then there's also a great sage who is just ready for just silence and stillness and peace and purity and perfection. But in the meantime, I'll bounce on the rebounder, I'll meditate. Then after meditation, I took about 30 minutes, uploaded a couple videos, and then I uploaded a couple videos on Facebook. Not that I get any traction over there at all. It's really weird. There was 6 months ago, I was blowing up on Facebook. And now it's like one person doesn't even see me. So I don't know what happened there. How their algorithms work. They're like, we don't want anybody seeing this guy. So whatever, YouTube is going great. And after I did all my so I take about 30 minutes of work, you know, because I have all the videos. I'd spend like 4 or 5 hours making videos one day, and I upload all them, then I just release them one at a time, you know. So I did that, then I did a nice little 30-minute yoga sesh with Sarah Beth, can you dig it? And now I'm bouncing on the rebounder, and now I'm going to jump in the pool, and then I'm going to take a shower. I don't think I need to shave today or anything. Comb my hair, go to the market, get a whole bunch of fresh fruits and veg, some pineapples, cucumbers, carrots, beets, and I'll make like, I think 3 or 4, maybe 5 recipes today in a 2 or 3 hour long juice class. I'm gonna upload that to the Elite Video Club. That's gonna be real instructional, like a professional thing. I'm not gonna go off on any, you know, conspiracies or anything. I'm just gonna be like really on point, professional on that one, so that I can educate on all the tricks on how to live the kind of the juicing lifestyle, you know, the daily juicing habit, all the tricks to make it super easy. And then tomorrow I have a live Zoom on Sunday where we're going to launch the summer juice cleanse, and we're going to talk in depth. I've got a few live classes planned and then daily video support, just sort of sharing what I'm going through. I don't anticipate too much because I just live on the liquids, but I'm excited. I could use a quick little tune up. I kind of prefer water fasting myself, but you know, juice feasting slash, I'm actually going to do more of a fasting thing, like 3 juices a day with the Paradigm, the Core 4. So you do the cleanse first with your first juice, then you do the herbal blood and the Paradigm with your second juice, and then you do the Pure Light with your third juice, and then you stretch, meditate, sleep, rest, get some sun, go for a walk, bounce on the rebounder, maybe lift a little weights. If I do lift weights, I'll bring in a couple scoops of the Paradigm Natural inside that coconut water smoothie that I make, but I still want to just keep it on the liquids. But I'm definitely going to tell everybody tomorrow that they can do smoothies if they want, like if they don't have a juicer, or if they're tripping at nighttime and they want to have something a little more substantial because they've got like kids, or they had a long day at work, or a young man that's still in his exercise regimen and doesn't want to quit. Then it's like, you know, have a smoothie, plonk in a little bit of Paradigm Natural so you've got the aminos, so you don't get like depleted or whatever. Because if you're just juice fasting, you want to stay kind of mellow and not work the body too hard. Depends on the nature of it though. So I'm going to present some options for people, and then ultimately you can do the Heal All protocol, which is like a salad at night too. So you're getting all that hydration, you're getting the enzymes and the herbs in there to clean everything out, and then you're having your 1 fiber meal a day. But I'm going to go liquid, and I'm going to recommend everyone does that, but I want to give options because we're all in a different place. But anyways, did the yoga, and then I came out here to do the rebounding sesh, and so I'm stoked. And now I have to go. Where are we at here? 43 minutes. Cool. So I went 45, which is the limit on Facebook and Instagram, and that's a good length of that's a great workout for the rebounding. So I hope you dig it. Next time I'll just do one and I won't say anything, and we'll just bounce together. And I'll show you all the exercises, you know, whatever. How you can do all kinds of stuff, and you learn how to, there's all kinds of crazy stuff, and then there's like more advanced stuff, you know, where it's like boom, now. You know, where you can really start. It's a little hard on this concrete. It's nice to have a yoga mat on each side or whatever. Or anyways, that's a little bit like really advanced. You know, there's other kind of stuff you can do. And that's more mechanical training, but I'll let you go now. 45 minutes in, DTM. Can you dig it? I love you. God bless you. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Ah! Fresh. What a great way to end a great video. Peace. Let's do 44 for twin flame love. Can you dig it, baby? I know you can. Have a great day. DTM, your boy, out.